I actually knew I wanted to be a teacher in 4th grade. It was my 4th grade teacher that inspired me to be a teacher. It's kind of when that first thought came into my head. I saw how she made learning fun. And from then, I mean, it kind of grew more and more, and it was just kind of a thought in 4th grade. And I said I wanted to teach 4th grade, and here I am teaching 4th grade. I'm an advocate for children at all levels. Whether they're my child or not, in my classroom or outside of my classroom, I will always fight and do what's best for kids. So I believe as an educator, it's my job to advocate, it's my job to support, it's my job to encourage. I think all educators wear multiple hats. I think if you think it's just your job to teach, you're maybe not on the right track, because I think there's just so many other hats that you wear. If my kids walk out of my classroom knowing that they're loved, knowing that they have someone there to root for them, someone there on their side, I think I've done my job. But I think if you do it right and you build those relationships at the beginning and throughout the year, they're going to walk out with so much more. And so I think just building that foundation of serving and giving back, it's not going to do any good if I just stand in the front and tell them that they need to. So I think that it's important for them to see me out doing that. Seeing me at their games, but also seeing me in more of a volunteer setting, but then also encouraging them to go out and volunteer. It's just building good human beings. I mean, really, as a teacher, I want them to learn and I want them to be successful, but I just want to make sure that when they leave my classroom or when they leave the school, that yeah, they might be smart and they might find their success, but I just want them to be kind, and I want them to be good human beings that take part in their community and in their state or in their country, whatever level they choose to do it, and however big or however small, it makes a big difference.
I was not going to be a teacher. I swore I would do anything, but I was not going to be a teacher because my mother was a teacher and my father was a principal. And so growing up, I was going to do anything but. And then the older I got, the more I felt drawn to that. I enjoyed working with kids, so this is what happened. This year, I am the 8th grade sponsor. I am the yearbook sponsor for the preschool through 8th grade yearbook. I am the junior high volleyball coach. I'm a junior high assistant basketball coach. I am also the junior high cheer sponsor. I want my kids to be involved. I want them to not just go home and sit. I want them to try new things. I want them to see that I'm invested in what they're doing, and I want them to be involved. And I want them to know, hey, I need to be involved, not just somebody who exists in society. I feel like social studies, lots of times it takes a back burner, but it is so important that they understand where we came from, what has already happened. Let's not make that mistake again. We hit the Constitution and the creation of the Constitution, and we hit that quite a bit because that is important. And they're always like, why do we need to know this? You need to know this because this affects your daily life. I researched and found Ancestry actually does have a grant that I wrote. My kiddos here are able to research census records, which are awesome for them to be able to see those, and relate them to themselves, so it has that extra meaning than when we're talking about them in class and they see, oh, well, I can relate, my ancestors lived in such and such colony. I want my kids to be confident in what they do. I want them to learn and want to go on to that next level. I do have some students that come into social studies and they'll be like, this is not my thing. And that's okay, but learn what you can while you're here and take that knowledge away with you.
Well, I'm a little slow, and I didn't want to be a teacher for a long, long time. I was actually 37 years old when I'd been in industry. I had other jobs, which I was miserable at. I was successful, but miserable. And it was my 3-year-old daughter who said, Daddy, you like to help all the kids in the neighborhood with their homework. Why don't you become a teacher? And I thought, why don't I become a teacher? And so that's when I started. It's about sharing the things that I've been able to learn, and I have an excitement for learning, and I have an excitement for sharing that. And it just seems like it's a privilege to get to see those aha moments when people get it and they understand something or they hear something for the first time. I try to teach all my students like I would treat my own children. So if they don't get it the first time, I keep trying to find a different way or a different avenue. And I always try to make sure to encourage them to keep moving and to be intrinsically motivated. Don't make grades for your parents. Do things and learn things for yourself. For years I coached, and that allowed me to know students on a different level, and parents too. As a minister, it's been my privilege to perform weddings for about 70 of my former students. And so that is the coolest thing ever, is to have them call up and say, hey, I'd like for you to do the wedding. I've had other events that I've been able to be a part of. And so I think I accept the fact that it's a unique relationship, and I want every student to feel like that they're important to me and that their success is important to me. Not only when they're my student, but they're always my student. And I tell them that. I say, once you have me, you're stuck with me forever. I have to be happy, and I have to feel like I'm being productive, and so that's the way I measure success. I used to measure it by my paycheck or my titles, and now I measure it by, have I helped a student learn something? Have I seen that aha moment? Those are really, really joyous things.